Greetings, everyone. It is Dynasty Amir, Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Again, make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Guys, all the information is right down there at the ticker that's scrolling at the bottom right there. Make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Buy some merchandise while you're there. Buy some shirts, some books. Subscribe to our email list so you guys can stay up to date in regards to what's going on with Dynasty Amir. Also, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the content. Again, like, share, and subscribe to the content. I want to apologize about the delay. In my neighborhood, the west end of Atlanta, the power went out. So we were out of power for like 30 minutes. And literally, it went out like 10 minutes before we were supposed to start. So we are back now. Power just cut back on. So we are good to go. I was about to go ahead and just tether from my phone, but we're good now. The power's on, internet is strong. We are good to go, you guys. And we have a special guest with us today, and also Patreon. Become a monthly Patreon, support Black media, you guys. So become a monthly Patreon so we can continue to share our own narrative. We have a special guest on with us today, you guys. Kala Genesis, everyone. And we're about to rise up. And today's topic is, if you ain't black, you ain't black and you ain't diverse. You ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden, and y'all sure ain't diverse. All you Negroes look the same. All you Negroes look the same. But at the same time, Kyle, you made a great point. Was it 90% of black folks vote Democrat? 91, 92%?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what, 92% of us are
90% black people who do vote Democrat, and the turnout rate for black people is only like 50%.
Only 50% turnout.
50%, yeah. Barack Obama got to like 70% turnout, and he got 90%, right? So therefore, even if the Democrats get 90% of the black vote, right, in a presidential election, that's still not enough to carry. If Trump is polling at like 55% among white people, right, and 30% among Hispanics, right, they really don't need the black vote, because the black voter turnout. Only thing that will save Joe Biden is a miracle in black turnout, and I don't see that happening. Now you see down in when John Kerry was running, right, black people just abandoned the poll. He wasn't inciting to people. Remember that? And
right.
People did, Ohio, they was like, oh yeah, get. But Obama was there.
Kyle, let me cut you off real quick. So now what am I going to say? The drop the mic, or we're supposed to give Joe Biden momentum is he's going to have a black female VP. You don't think that's going to help?
Well, it's like it will help with black women. He
already has the black women vote, so that's not
the black women vote, right? That'll help with black women, right?
Yeah.
But it's not going to help with black men. It's not going to help with young people. Young people are saying no. We're not feeling this guy for the most part, and people are not really enthusiastic about him, right? And then not only that, there's an awful lot of black people, right, who are paying attention to these gaffes he's making. He's stuttering over his words and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He can't complete a sentence and everything. And so if white people are turned off by that, it's shocking that black people then you got some of those black people. I don't give a damn what he says. He can come out and call black people a nigga, and you still got black people saying he'll be literally. Why? Because we've been brainwashed over the last 4 years. Oh, Trump's a racist. Now, at the same time, Governor Northam of Virginia had a blackface, right, in his college days.
And black people
forgiven.
Yeah, he was forgiven.
He's forgiven. If you have a D next to your name with black folks, in other words, basically, maybe they're right. Maybe we're not African Americans at all, right?
Right.
Maybe we are Democrats who are black. Think about it. This is about the soul of black people. You've been so brainwashed. You're not even black. Don't stop calling yourself African American. Stop calling yourself Pan. No, you're a Democrat. That's your identity. That's what they gave to you. And one of the things that we were fighting for in America, right, which the Million Man March was all about, is since day one. No, actually, we had well, before this republic was founded, right? We basically had the African Methodist Episcopal Church. We had our roots. We know who we were. We're the African people in North America. The term African American goes back to 1878. You know, I'm an African American. I think it was a Philadelphia newspaper wrote. A guy wrote, "I'm an African American. I'm an African in America." Right? What's happened since the 1800s was the minstrel era, right? The attempt by white people to always be the master of black people, to define us, right? They define our existence, right? That's why it was so important for Nancy Pelosi to go to the year of return. You always got to have a white person validating you. They always got to define who we are. They got to tell you who to vote for, who you should be, right? And then they got black people out there who, if you don't follow the narrative, right? This has nothing to do with Donald Trump or Republican. It's battling for the soul of Black America. Who are you? Are you a free people or not? You know, because if this happens that they say you're black, you got to vote for Democrat, even though there's nothing on the table for that the Democrats offer you. They don't even. Roland Martin, you know, pork chop rolling. You know, even he's saying, where's the money at? You know, Joe Biden's about to spend $300 million in media, but where's the black media outlets getting this? There's not. Hillary Clinton spent $1 billion on the campaign. No black media outlets got money. You got white kids out there. They pay white kids hotel bills, meal bills to go around. And it's like a part. If you know what a political campaign is, free money, people traveling, people hooking up with their friends and everything. They go into stuff, reach out to people, all paid for. That's a dream job. But you don't see black people in those positions. When you see people who are getting paid in the Democrats or Republican Party or campaign funds, it's white people, mostly young white kids. Now, the same thing is the Democrats need an enthusiastic black base to turn out, right? And if they don't, what's Diane said? If they don't do that, then they are going to lose. And so, therefore, if you're not going to have any policy, at least we want to see not just one or two black people. We want to see where the money's going to. And as far as like reaching out to black people, you know, are you spending money on black websites? You know, are you advertising? Are you advertising on black websites? Are you meeting the people, giving donations and so on? They're not. The Democrats feel they don't have to do that. Why?
Guys, let me share the screen real quick. I got to show people this. Sorry, guys, sorry about that. I'm having issues with my laptop. I download this. If anybody who's a tech person, I downloaded about a year ago. I downloaded this Windows Builder. It's like where you can kind of get apps before they come out, and it's just making my laptop crash. I don't know why, but one second, guys. Let me get this set up. I want to show you guys something. Let me show you guys something real quick. Let me share the screen. Hold on one second. In fact, no, I want you guys to see this real quick. Black Lives Matter. Now, I've been telling people about this fraud of an organization since 2016.
Yes, so have I.
Let me share the screen real quick. Hold on one second. Chrome tab, Black Lives Matter. I want to show you guys this. And guys, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right, so this is the blacklivesmatter.com, you guys. I want you guys to look at this. All right, so when you click on donate, right, your donation goes to actblue.com. Nothing to do with Black Lives. It goes to actblue.com, okay? I want you guys to see this. It goes to ActBlue. That's where your donation goes. Let's look up ActBlue. So if you go to Black Lives Matter, and if you click on donate, it takes you to ActBlue. What's ActBlue, you guys? Let's look this up. ActBlue. This is ActBlue. Hold on. ActBlue is a nonprofit technology organization established in June 2004 that enables left-leaning nonprofits, Democrats, and progressive groups to raise money on the internet by providing them with online fundraising software. Okay, Act Blue. So, guys, your donation, I mean, it's not going to anything black. I mean, because people have been asking, where is this Black Lives Matters money at? Where is it? Where is it going? How is it being handled? Who's counting the money? Listen, Act Blue Charities is a registered charitable organization formed to democratize charitable giving. Alternatively, our report detailing our programs, a financial summary, and a percentage of contributions dedicated to our charitable purposes, along with a copy of our license, may be obtained from the following state agencies. So what I'm saying is your donation is not going to Black Lives Matter. It's going to Act Blue Charities. That's where your donation is going. You go to Black Lives Matter to donate. That's all I'm saying. I just wanted to show people that. I just wanted to show people that.
Yeah, I've been saying that since 2015. And I got a lot of blowback from a lot of people. Colin, why are you hating, man? I'm like this. I was born tonight, not last night, right? I saw back then what this was, and what this shows me is that okay, people have a most people who started Black Lives Matter, right, got in the street were hurting. We saw Trayvon Martin, we saw Michael Brown. People got out there. And then you got people that will take advantage of that situation for their own ends, their own personal gain, their own political philosophy, their own alternative, ulterior motive. It's bait and switch. And these people basically do not have any, don't care about black. Let me tell you something, folks. Nobody gives a shit about us. Man. I don't care what you try to spin. I'm sick and tired of seeing this kumbaya stuff with white so-called allies. I don't want to hear that word again among anybody. Our allies and whatnot. The allies come in and they weaken you. They weaken your resolve. They weaken your thing because the bottom line is this: Black America, right? If we want to really talk about this, right? Well, we need to start from the beginning, right? Did America let's start from England, right? America wasn't a republic when we first brought here. Let's give America that, right? The country.
Collar. Uh-oh. Yeah, we didn't lost Collar thing.
No. So I'm using my cell phone to my iPad charge up, and my phone's like Grand Central Station,
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the countries that initiated the transatlantic slave trade. Listen to this very carefully. Initiated the transatlantic slave trade: Spain, Portugal, Denmark, France, England. All these countries made the Netherlands made their initial wealth building the new world off the transatlantic slave trade. The trades, the rum, the opium, sugar trade, molasses, already the triangle trade. The brutal slave trade, where millions of bodies were destroyed, dehumanized forever, right? The same people, same group of people, the majority of Black people in this world are terrified of and still hold them up in high esteem. You cannot pry the Nigerian away from the British crown. You cannot tell the Ghanaian, so you can't talk bad about the English people to the Ghanaian. I'm in the UK. The UK is the first and second country, however you want to put it. The people in the Gambia, most of the people in Gambia, they're part of the UK. The people that destroyed Africa and continue to rob Africa, right, are still in power. Still in power. You pledge allegiance to a country, in the United States, France, wherever, that's still doing the same thing. The same friggin' people that came through and killed millions of people in Zambia, Zimbabwe, the Congo, and everything are now getting reparations for what they did. And we, as a race of people, right, are too weak to come together to basically fight against that. And we got Black people in America, right? Black people in America, right? We criticize what's going on in Africa, but look about us. We don't have any political power in America whatsoever. 45 million people have no political power.
Right.
There's nothing on the table for us. There's nothing to go. There's nothing binding black people in America. There was never any treaty signed between a group of people called African Americans and the United States government. We were brought here against our will, and we're kept here against due circumstance. And basically, you got people that want to hold on to America and the same status quo, which gives white people global power forever, under the guise of we want our reparations. No, you want to continue a relationship that
I don't, it doesn't even have to do more. Okay, let's leave reparations. Let's take reparations.
I'm just saying reparations is old, right?
But what I'm saying, Colin, it doesn't even have to do with reparations. It's just okay. Let's get back on as far as black people are like. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden no matter what he says about black people. Let's stay there.
No matter what he said, you got those people who are saying we're going to vote for Joe Biden no matter what he says, because these people basically believe that if you get rid of Donald Trump, everything will go back to normal. Right. You know, racism is just Donald Trump, the far right, and all these other people, right? There's people who want you to believe that, but they forget the fact that Trayvon Martin happened under Obama. Right. Tahrir Rice happened under Obama. All these cases were never federally prosecuted under a black president. And so therefore, if you get rid of Trump, right, and then you got Joe Biden, right, and then my whole thing is this. I don't really think a lot of black people think like that. I just think that the people with media outlets, right, and also trolls. There's a lot of trolls on the internet who make you think, okay, this is Biden no matter what. Some of these people might be even white liberals. Right. They're out there talking about, oh yeah, we got to vote for Trump. We got to get the 45 out. We got to get 45 out. Okay, well, what is the black political? How are you going to say that, right? And then you're going to you got a lot of black political pundits out here talking about, well, we got to have our agenda. Well, you just said you're going to vote for Biden no matter what. That cancels out anything. You just played all your cards. You're going to vote for Biden no matter what he says. He can come out and call you the N-word, and you basically will forgive him. He said that, and I'm not sitting here trying to like I'm campaigning for Trump, but I'm just trying to say, look at our thing. The Democratic Party and the left have too much power over black people. They have way too much power. And the bottom line is, how's a group of people going to talk about it's all about liberation, and you can't liberate yourself from a political party? You can't form your own political party. We can't form our own political. We can't do all that. We have to do. It's not even a question. You can't vote Republican no matter what. The only thing you can't talk about your own political party, because you heard the thing, Dynast. A vote for Kanye West is a vote for Trump.
Here's my favorite. If you don't vote at all, or pretty much any vote that's not for Biden is a vote for Trump. That's right. Can you expand on that, Colin? I don't.
It's like this. The bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. They basically create the straw man. Trump's a straw man. This boogeyman. Oh, he's racist. They always say the same thing. Sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, whatever like that. And it's always these little white chicks and whatnot, transphobic, homophobic, like that. And they get all, you see them, they get all amped like, yeah, we got to get rid of this guy. I'm like, yo, look, and it's all these people these young people that are being indoctrinated in colleges and everything. And what you see now in the United States is, and this is going to be very controversial, what I'm about to say is, what we see over the last generation is a lot of people have basically put the rule of law as the oppressor. In other words, basically, if you talk about the rule of law, oh, you're a right winger or whatever like that. Now you even have the Portland mayor saying, wait a minute here, y'all talk about burning down this and everything. Now he's coming to his senses. Well, we can't have anarchy in the streets. Now, those of you who want anarchy and you believe we just burn it down and whatever like that, okay, that's fine, right? But you have people who have who are legitimate demonstrators who are talking about demonstrating against a racist police department. They want reform. They want tangible results and everything. Then now you got people who want to burn down everything, and a lot of black people don't know which way to fit in. And then when you talk about, okay, well, what about leaving in America? What about basically expatriating and stuff like that? No, you can't do that either.
Right.
You have to stay in America
And vote
and
Democrat.
vote Democrat and just be miserable, never be happy. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Everything. Always thought, Dinus, right? Everything should lead to some sort of happiness, right?
Right.
If you believe in repatriating, right, and going to Nigeria, going to Gambia, or going to whatever, right, that's going to lead to what? Happiness, right? If you like Donald Trump, right, you like his policies, right, that leads you to happiness, right? But the thing is, though, okay, you got a lot of people, black people say, okay, I like Trump, or I'm like that. You got some black people say, well, I think I want to live outside of America, forget America, whatever. That's happiness, right? I don't even see black people saying how Joe Biden and the Democrats can make them happy.
Right.
It's like they wanted you to join in their misery. Okay, when he gets in office, right? He ain't gonna do anything for you, right? He's gonna ignore you, saying that he's gonna be worse than Obama as far as like ignoring you and everything. He's not
Right.
even mentioning black employees. At
Hey,
least Trump.
Carl, let me ask you this. I mean, just looking at Biden, how in the hell did he become? Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson in the chat room, everybody. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. But Colin, how did Biden even? I mean, just looking at Biden now, how did he become Obama's VP?
Oh, I'll tell you
How did
exactly
that
why.
happen?
I'll tell. I don't know if I told you this, but I'll tell you exactly why, right? And I didn't figure this out until like a month ago, right? You got to understand who the white Democrats are, right? The Democrat Party still has that working class racist element in it, right? I'm from New York, right? I know this. These are people that hate Republicans. They think Republicans are the party of the rich and everything. But you got the blue collar white people, right? The trade unionists and the workers and contracts, everything. They basically are white people. They're based on the Democratic Party because they know the Republicans, like what you have in Wisconsin with Scott Walker. Remember him? He's trying to cut continuous union benefits, retirement benefits, right? That's and guys like Paul Ryan, right? They don't like those type of Republicans that think that a worker is on his own and all stuff like that. That they want.
Hold on, Carl. Somebody in the chat room said he became Obama's VP to appease racist whites in the Democratic Party.
Of course, that's exactly what it was. And so therefore, it didn't dawn on me, right? Because I was so hope and change, Obama. I had an Obama Biden sticker for 6 years on my truck. You know, and then I'm saying to myself, Biden. And I was like, oh, Joe Biden. They was so blue collar Joe. And then when I started reading about stuff that he said back in the days, right, against integration, everything, and we always and to be honest with you, back in the days, the Democratic Party, right, you had a lot of Southern white people, like the Jimmy Carter types, right, that basically, you would hear the N word or whatever, and black people, we were in this thing where the way they treated us, like, okay, y'all just get out the back boat. Remember when 1988? You probably remember when Jesse Jackson was running, right? At one time, he was a front runner, right? Until they got to the South and whatnot, and that was it. He was out of the front runner. But Jesse Jackson thought because he won so many states, he was going to be the VP pick, right? Big mistake. And so, therefore, then when they had the nomination, it was Dukakis and Lloyd Benson was from Texas. He was the same thing as Joe Biden, a white Southerner, right? A white Southerner. Hold up, Dennis.
Okay. All right, everybody, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe as well. And also go to dynastymir.com. Shout out to Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. Thank you for the super chats. Everybody is gaining from our deaths except us. Biden went from last in polling to the Democratic nominee from the death of George Floyd. Did we even get a butter biscuit? No, of course not. They'll give us some rocks to chew on though. Leveraging Black death, political gain, influence.
All right. What I was saying was this, which we call Biden is the same thing as Jimmy Carter and Jimmy Carter and Lloyd Benson, right? The Southern white Democrats and everything, which is the base of the Democratic Party, right? They come out of the Lyndon Johnson, Huey long history of Democratic thing. Now you have the black people in 1950s were majority Republican, right? Until 1964 when Barry Goldwater ran, and then the shift became Goldwater came out against welfare, affirmative action, and all stuff like that. Black people shift, and we've been running with Democrats since then. Lyndon Johnson says, "You give me the great society, and I'll make a nigga vote for Democrats forever." We've been riding with Democrats for a long time, but the Democrats have this thing where let me put it like this: it's all about power. I don't know if you get these, Dynas, but I get these emails from the DNC. Do you get those emails from the DNC?
I don't think so. I don't.
Okay, I get a lot of them. I get the DNC thing. And they all say, "Oh, come on, join, send money, send donations and everything," right? It's about power, right? There's a lot of black people, when they look at Nancy Pelosi, oh, she's going to say, that's a woman, she's about power, right? What's it called? Chuck Schumer, that's about power. It has nothing to do with how much they love. Black people are always looking for somebody to love them. It's about power. White people, Joe Biden's the same way. It's about power, whether how do I describe it? It's all about power. Democrats, Republicans, it's all about power, right? So the bottom line is that if you think they're going to hand power over to black people, like I said, I don't know what Joe Biden's going on a limb electing a black VP, right? VP. God forbid he dies. This way, say that means she's a president, whatever, like that. Then you got the thing. It's all about power. All these people, AOC, the squad, the Republicans, all these people, it's all about power, right? We are just a pawn in this game, right? We black people in America, right? The only thing they need from us, right, is every 2 to 4 years to show up to vote. That's it. That's it. They're not going to share power with you. They're going to share power with you. It's not about that. It's about getting them elected, and they could basically, and also I forgot about Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's the same thing. And Al Gore, Southern white Democrats and everything, that these people are going to save us from the boogeyman, which is the right wing and the Republican. What I do like about now is it seems like black people are not afraid of the Republicans. We're not afraid of the right wing because of social media. We seem like we're together. We're a little more united, and we're still like we're all on court. We can respond to anything they come up. That's why you think the right wing in this country is sort of backing off. Why? Because they can't present us as this monolith, right? They can't present us as the right wing realizes we're not a monolith, right? You can't go around saying black people want to integrate our schools because we don't, right? You can't go around saying black men are all trying to marry white women because that's a lie, right? All the stuff they should run on and everything is a lie. They can't do anymore. Black men are trying to take our jobs. Black men are underachievers. We're deadbeats. Fathers. All the things that they use to disparage us on the right, are not true anymore, right? They realize it. They gotta try. They don't have any strategy. The right wing don't have any strategy against Black America anymore. Now what you have is the Democrats, right, haven't figured that out. The right wing has figured out, okay, we could pick off a couple of black people by talking about family values, stuff like that, and that's what they're doing. The Democrats still see us as one monolith. There's no middle class. There's no upper class. There's no agnostic vote or Pan-African vote who don't care about the system. Who don't care about the system. We're all seen as this monolith by the Democrats, right? And so therefore, all they have to do is show up every 4 years, right? Talk about hot sauce. Talk about what else you talk about? Bring out Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah,
do all this stuff like that.
What's his name? Joe Biden's at Doolin's, which is a soul food restaurant off of Crenshaw, serving soul food.
Yeah, stuff like that. So this is what they use. There's no policy, right? There's no policy. The Democrats haven't said what are we giving to black people to make them vote for us, right? The only thing they really had was they do it to this day. 2020. Oh, we got to defeat racism. And I saw this thing. Tell me what is a professor. This is a college professor, right? Her title is a racial social justice warrior. That's an actual thing. This vague and abstraction. We have to defeat white supremacy. We have to defeat racism. But how do you do that? But electing Joe Biden, isn't Joe Biden a white man?
Yeah.
You know, isn't like for the most part in this country, what 70% of all prosecutors are white men.
Right.
Most of the positions of power in America is a white man. Most of the judges, you know, on the courts on every level are white men. The power structure, everything, the infrastructure in America is controlled by white men, right? The people that make this country work are the hands of white men for the most part. The most board decisions and
Real, real
everything.
quick, hey, everyone. So we're gonna open up the lines probably in 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, if you want to call in, Uhuru, and search for Uhuru. The link is in the chat room. Again, if you want to call in, send me an email. Again, send me an email, and I will email you the link to call in, and you can call in. So, Kyla, so Joe Biden, from what we see, has a black vote. After everything he said, you know, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. You're not diverse. What does that say about black people who are going to continue to vote for him instead of just
Well,
saying?
first of all, it's mostly older black people. It's
Uh,
older black people. It's
mhm.
older black people and some younger black people. But the whole thing is this: it just says that for the most part. Remember, I told you this before. Black people before what 2004, we were not talking about politics. Politics had died in Black America. Remember that voter died and stuff like that. You know, there was no real black vote. Remember something when Diddy was doing the voter die and stuff like that. He was talking about a hip hop vote. They've been trying to do that for years. A hip hop vote, a leftist vote, a non-white vote. You know, people of color. All these vague and abstract things, right? When you talk about it, ain't till to the wake of the Obama administration, right, where black people are starting to be looked at as a African American. But what is that? What does that mean, right? We've always been riding with the so-called POC, people of color, right? We've always been. That's what we've been voting for, people of color, the rainbow, the gays, the immigrants, you know, the legal immigrants, the poor. You know, that's another thing. Black usually means poor, right? If you're poor, Al Sharpton. I mean, a couple of years ago, remember the 2010 leading up to the midterm of 2010. Al Sharpton on MSNBC, they gave this thing. Republicans are going to try to take out food stamps and everything. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I voted for Barack Obama 2 years ago, right? But what is this food stamp you're talking about? You know, we got to get out there because Republicans want to kill food stamps and a lot of black people need food stamps. I'm like, what? So therefore, what I'm saying is black is always seen as poor. Black is always seen as disadvantaged, right? That's what we are. That's what, as a community, right? Even though that don't describe all of us, right? We're not a monolith. The black people are poor. Black people are incarcerated. You know, with massive. That's another thing. They keep
Right. Mass incarceration.
mass incarcerated. Even though when you look at the numbers, right, like when they say when we analyze the data, black prison incarceration has been going down.
Right.
You know, black private prisons have been friggin' going out of business because they've been suing states because they don't have enough inmates to put in them. But yet people still run with the narrative. We got black men out there, mass incarceration, everything, you know? So we don't even have a rare picture of, and that's why I think these platforms like this and the platforms in the manosphere and stuff like that, even though so many people have done so many good things on the manosphere platforms and everything to show a good side of Black America, right? But it doesn't matter. In the mainstream media, we're the same thing. We're Pookie, Ray Ray, yeah, we're Rufus, you know, we're Rufus is that old broken down black man, you know. He gonna tell you about, I worked at as a janitor and I
Is he the one on the porch with a bottle of OE and
OE and Rufus, you
and
know.
a paper bag on the
Paper
porch?
bag, you know, and yeah, and
Yeah,
also they stick
I know
stick
Rufus. I know
they
Rufus.
stick a camera and a mic in his face. What do you think, Rufus? Well, I remember. Oh Lord, you know. So the
Yeah, I
bottom
know
line is
Rufus.
this: what
I
you
know.
see on our platforms on YouTube and other platforms is differently. Why? Because people look at what the mainstream media says. The mainstream media don't want to hear about what you have to think, what you and I have to think, and the people on YouTube and everything like that. You know, we people who know what's going on in our community, we know we're not diverse. Let me give you an example. Every time you do a show or anybody does a show on credit repair, on business and everything, you get
Oh,
very
hey,
low views.
1 second. Hey, Darnell Clayton, we're you got to call in, brother. So I'm gonna send you the link. You can call in to ask your question. I'll go ahead.
Yeah. So therefore, the people that's doing the work out there, like that lady Erica Williams and everything, helping people with credit scores, business owner, there's all the kind of thing. There's so many black susus going on right now. So many things going on in Black America that are positive and good, right? But when it comes down to who we are to the national media, and then let's ask the big question in the room: should we care? I thought we had got to the point where we didn't give a fuck what white people think, right? If we don't give a fuck what white people think, then why are we still feel like we're obligated to their political system? You know, why do we still feel obligated to their political? They still portray us as a monolith. You know, if you can't even think outside the box, they say, well, if you don't think the way this is, then you're a Trump supporter. No, it's not about being a Trump supporter. I automatically think we ought to have our own political party, right? You can't do that because if you form a black political party, that's a vote for Trump. So therefore, this, and like I said, this is only because we only have this conversation because it's election year. After this election's over, no one's going to give. We're going to go back to being ignored. No one's going to give a damn about us, right? They don't care about what we think. They don't care. So if they don't, therefore, if Joe Biden and Democrats can't even put together a comprehensive plan for Black America, right? Then what's that saying to me, right? Is there's absolutely no hope in places like Baltimore, Detroit, Gary, Indiana, Chicago. There's no hope. Why? Because the Democrats feel that they don't have to do anything. The only thing they respond to is your vote. And then in every last single black district, right, they have appointed people that they put there. We're the only group of people where somebody makes, like John Lewis passed away, God rest his soul, right? They're in Congress for 40 years. Your congressman is not supposed to be some, oh, yeah, we got a congressman. Your congressman is supposed to be the person that you send to the federal government, your district, the federal government. If they don't perform or bring back the bacon to your district, whatever, you replace them. That's why there's elections every 2 years for congressmen. And every other group of demographics, congressmen come and go, right? Joe Walsh is in Chicago, and then now he's out. That's the way it goes. You could be primary, right? You can get out during the primary. You could get out in the general election. That's the way Congress is supposed to respond, but not in the black community. A black congressman like John Conyers was there for 60-something years. Elijah Cummings, there for decades, and Charles Rangel, been there since 1971. You think about this. It's funny.
This is my question.
Maxine Waters been there for decades.
Colin, this is my question. So I was having a debate with a friend of mine. He was saying that it's not really John Lewis's fault that the funding and a lot of these initiatives, I guess, actually went into the districts. It's really up to the mayors, the local governments, and all that for for everything to be implemented. Is that true?
Well, it's like, this is how it works, right? You look at Newt Gingrich, right? Go to the white congressman, right? When a couple of years ago, like Newt Gingrich, when he was in Congress, right, his district lived fat because he has the connections in the Senate and everything. They say, okay, whatever. They bring home the bacon. Black congressmen, like I said, they don't do that, right? The black congressman agenda is whatever the Democratic Party tells them it is, right? You understand something? Who's basically their boss? Their boss is not the black community, right? Because let me tell you how it is, right? The racist, I'm not going to call them racist, but the white people that run the Democratic Party, right, put them there, right? They make sure that they never get primaried because only by serving their interests, right? Those black congressmen, right, they'll make sure the bacon, the bread and butter get to those white districts or the white congressmen, right? But not their own districts. I see that right here in Virginia. Our districts get nothing from the black congressmen. Why? Because they're so busy capping for whatever the DNC talks about. So that's what the issue is. So therefore, there's nothing holding black congressmen accountable because they're not going to get primaried, so you can't get rid of them.
Darnell, go ahead, brother.
Okay, so my thing is,
you're on mute, bro.
No. I hear him. Go ahead, Darnell. You don't hear him,
Okay.
caller?
No. Hold up.
Okay. Should I wait?
I don't hear
Yeah,
him.
hold on. I hear him. I hear him call. I can hear him call out. You don't hear him for some reason.
Hold up. Let me change phones. I'm having problems.
Okay.
Technical problems.
Darnell, hold on 1 second. I mean, I hear you fine. Colin doesn't hear you, but hold on 1 second, Darnell.
Okay.
And guys, make sure you hit that like button, share. Again, hit that like button, you guys. I'm gonna have Colin sing the song. Again, hit that like button.
All right, let me see.
Yeah, that's your phone, Colin, because everybody, we all can hear him.
Okay, let me see something. All right, let me X out of here. Let me log into another platform. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, all right. Darnell, go ahead and ask your question, Darnell.
Okay. So my thing is, should African Americans on a whole simply apply for citizenship in Africa? Because I think that would have more leverage. Because right now we just don't have any leverage. It's just like, oh, you're gonna vote Democrat anyways. But if we're like, hey, if we don't get our way, we'll just pack our bags and leave. You can have Trump, and he can be president for a third term if he wants it. We have other options. You
Right.
think that that'd be a better solution?
I think the reason why Black people are so dependent on this election as far as with the Democratic Party and Joe Biden is because they don't have any options. That's it. Because like me, I don't care. I got options, so I'm good.
Yeah.
But some Black people, it's just they planted their flag here in America, and it's ride or die here in America, and it's I built this country and my bones here, that they just refuse to look for other options, and so they're going to continue to be going in circles like they're doing right now. But I have options, so
Yeah, like I'm trying
prefer-
to get my citizen of Sierra Leone, and then when the African Union opens up with the African Free Trade Agreement, get my African Union passport. That way, you'd be open to all 54 countries. I think that'd be a stronger leverage.
Yeah. Do you have your DNA?
Yes. Mende and Temini. So.
Oh, there you go. Well, there you go. You got options. That's the thing. Like Black.
I missed what the bro said.
Ask your question again, Darnell.
I said, should African Americans like en masse simply apply for citizenship in African countries and just use that as leverage and say, if we don't get our way, we'll just pack our bags and leave, and you could have Trump for a third term if you want. Like,
okay. Well, this is what I would say. Like this, I think emotionally people say that, right? But what you have to have is African countries on the other side cooperating. There's a lot of people that countries now the countries in Africa that want to play ball on that level. Remember something, Africa first got to take care of itself. That's the first thing. Nigerians, they got to build the infrastructure. Africa has to, the elephant in the room is infrastructure. The entire Black race produces no steel. You know what I'm saying? We have no globalized shipping lines. All these things that Asia did, right? The first thing Asia did was when they kicked out the colonies in 1945 and agreed upon it in their Bang Dun Conference in 1955 was, we have to build our infrastructure. We cannot have European firms treat us as their backyard playground. Africa hasn't figured that out. Africa basically doubled down, and we have Europeans still on the continent, right? And Africa doesn't know what to do with them. They're molesting children. Africa has to figure out that they have to come together, right, and have multilateral trade and business and industrial plan like Kwame Nkrumah wanted to do, right? Once that happens, right, once Africa is going in that direction, right, naturally, there's Black people in America say, look, we have an alternative, right? Right now, white people are like, okay, where are you going to go? And we treat us like we have no place to go. You have no place to go politically. You have no place to go geopolitically. We're stuck. And the bottom line is this. We wasted the last 50 years, right? 50 years in America buck dancing and fooling around with this political system and this culture in America, right? Yes, you're right. Yes, the idea is let's make Africa a priority, right? Because let me tell you something. They're watching these platforms and people like Dynasty Samir going off the Atlantic and stuff like that. And they're concerned about that, not now, but in the future. If Black people give up on America altogether and say, something, it's not worth it. Let's build in Africa. It's going to have effect on Africa. It's going to have effect on China in Africa. It's going to have effect on the Europeans in Africa because they got their long-term plans too, and it doesn't include us. So therefore, everybody has this thing where they keep kicking the bucket down the road. How do you basically, you can't assimilate. Black America is the only group of people that haven't been assimilated into America. You can't assimilate a group of people unless you're going to marry with them and mix with them. So we can't assimilate into American mainstream, right? We're on the fringes of American society. We can't assimilate because assimilation means ultimately you're going to amalgamate. And that's not going to happen because we have a genetic difference, you know? Genetically, we can't assimilate with whites unless they are willing to give up their racial purity. And you saw that in the Black Lives Matter marches, right? What you see? You see all these black, white girls, we love the BB. They know what the root of it is. The root of all this racism is black and white, the friction between black and white. It's always been like that, you know, the fear of the black male and the white and female together, and interracial marriage. That's what fuels everything in America. You know, it's not about even the border. It's not anything. It's a fear of the black male. You know, what do you do with the black male? If we integrate, if we give them these jobs like they promised in the 60s, right? You might have them marrying our daughters. That's why they brought in immigrants here in the 60s, you know? And so, yeah, that's why they gave all this stuff to the Chinese. They said like this, okay, they're the model minority. Model minority means they kept to themselves. Black people are a problem because fundamentally, our leaders telling us our end game is to mix with white people and to like that. And white people are basically terrified of that, you know? So, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we say, look, if we start embracing leaving America and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to put pressure on them, right? But it would empower us, though, because we'll be like, okay, well, we don't care. We got an alternative, right? And then what are they going to do? They can't threaten us with anything. You know, once they have the ability to threaten us, right? You know, because, oh, yeah, he's going to roll back the clock. You know, how is somebody going to roll back the clock when you're keeping time? You know, so we got to be like this. Oh, Republicans will roll back the clock. You got to vote for Democrat. That's the way of fear. You think about it. Fear. You know, Donald Trump, fear. Oh, he's a racist. Fear. Grown men should not fear. You know, I can't stand seeing a grown black man live in fear like that. You know, so that's
I've talked to some of my coworkers and friends, and I was telling them like about me trying to get citizens from Sierra Leone, and then eventually get an African Union passport, and they were really excited because they feel like trapped.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if they have options, they'll just say F America, F Trump.
That's what a lot
I'm
of
going to the motherland.
That's the next step. Nobody wants to talk about that, you know? See, what you just said, right? What you just said is the reason why we have Tariq Nasheeds. The reason why we have Yvette Carnell's, because they know that's the big the end game right there. You know, let's see if we can build. Even though we know there's problems between us and Africans, everything. But what if we have people going to Angola? What if we have people going to the Congo and setting up shop, and we're working with the governments over there? What if our HBCUs got involved? What if our black investor class got involved? What if our black skilled labor got involved? That would be a whole new world open up, right? That we wouldn't be the same people anymore. You know, the only thing they define us by is every 4 years we're getting out there like fools talking about keep your eyes on the prize. Lord, all the stupid shit, you know. And you want to know what made the Black Panther Party, right? People were tired in the 60s of seeing the same Negro. I have a dream, and we gotta run. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not turkey child Martin Luther King, right? But the real black man, like, yo, look, let me tell you something. I said this on Facebook the other day. How is it that people had an organization like the UNIA that was the most powerful organization at the time in the world, right? One of the most powerful organizations in world history, right? That had shook the British Empire and the French Empire to the core with fear, right? Even had a movement called Alma Malinka in South Africa where they were talking about, the global day of Uhuru is going to come and the black race is going to rise up. How the hell in, 1924? How is it 40 years later, you're on your knees talking about, that's the white media. The civil rights movement is a farce. You know, the integration is a farce. That's something they create. In the encyclopedia, World Book Encyclopedia, when I was a kid, right, I learned about Marcus Garvey, right, from books, right? The biggest mass movement in black history, right, had a profound effect on everything. In the World Book Encyclopedia, he's reduced to one paragraph, right? They pulled the NAACP. They get pages. The NAACP has never been even popular among black people, right? Garvey has 6 million members. He gets one paragraph. Who's controlling the narrative? This is why Joe Biden knows people think they know us, right? It's the narrative we put out there. And then when we do get on friggin' mainstream people, you got people like Toure and that Ta-Nehisi Coates and all these soft niggas, man, who get up there, yeah, we black people, we suffer so much. You know, the Negro shit, you know? Instead of getting up there being strong like a man and saying what you got to say when not, you know, no man should cry like that in front of the freaking world, you know? So the bottom line is that's what we're battling against, our image, who we are. And then what was so successful about this platform, I'm going to say something right now, is this platform right here with Prince Dynast Amir that has done the real work. You know, a lot of people, as far as like I appreciate everybody that's out there, Mansfield and everything. But as far as like the Pan-African movement, right? It was this platform right here where it all started, right? Everybody else came afterwards. You know, I dare defy anybody show me wrong. It was Dynast Amir. You know, the guests he had on and the people, the discussions we had, you know, from Mr. Holtzism to Professor Davis to myself and several other people. This discussion that was had an effect on everybody, intelligent conversation. Because every time you talked about Pan-Africanism, right, what was it? It was like a joke. You know, oh, Pan-African, you Pan-African, you Pan-African. But now people are not laughing anymore. They're not laughing anymore.
Hey,
Well,
Kyle, go ahead, Darnell.
Well, one thing I was
Yeah, Kyle, you'll just keep going, Kyle. Go ahead, Darnell.
But one thing I was seeing with African countries, like I had a chance to visit Nigeria. I did a DNA test. I found I was related to the Yoruba people, and just getting there was a whole process. My government was discouraging me from going. State Department didn't want me to go.
Go. It's fine.
But one thing I was saying, if they, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we get you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well,
okay. Okay, so one thing I was saying, if African Americans took their intellect and contacts and brought it to countries like Nigeria, because Nigeria still, they had their culture, they had the industry, and they had the work ethic to really like dominate. Like, like I see Nigeria's engine in Africa, that could transform the whole continent. Like to me, Nigeria is like the engine of Africa. And if you get a lot of those professionals and everything, get them, if they're all organized, they can transform the country, and that country can transform the West African region, and that can transform the continent from there.
Right.
And so
two countries I'm really interested in, Nigeria and Angola. You know, those are two countries. I got to answer.
Hold on, Darnell, are you done with your question, Darnell? Or
I'm done.
Thank you done? Okay.
Oh, my question was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. My question is, wouldn't it be better for just us African Americans, no matter who wins, to simply start investing in the continent so we have leverage?
Right.
Kyle's rain. You got to turn off the replay.
Oh, you hear background noise? Hold on.
Yes. Darnell, ask your question again, Darnell. I'm sorry.
Well, I heard his question.
Yes. Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. Right. If we basically what we need to do is take a page out of other people. Right. The Chinese are not going to stop doing what they're doing no matter who wins. Right. They already got their stuff going on with China, a global infrastructure, business, everything. We have to get to the world and tell the world, yeah, we're African Americans, right? The African American you thought you knew and whatnot is not us, right? Prince Dynast Amir, myself, everybody, we're interested in building this global African community, right? You know, some of us are going to be on the continent, some of us are going to be here, right? You know, if you're not on the continent, you're supporting the people on the continent with what they do, right? And so therefore, the only thing we really have to worry about, right? It's not even white people, right? It's Negroes, right? Because there's a lot of Negroes who don't want this to happen. Why? Because they want to be laid up with white daddy, but they want to pretend like they're, you know, they want to pretend like they're fighting for reparations, and they're all phony, right? This right here, this platform, Search for Huru, this is real. This is real. We're seeing people. I got people in my group that's on their way to Africa in 2 months, right, to live. You know, and do work with governments, right? So all this work we've been doing for the last few years, where like that, is starting to finally pay off, right? It's starting to pay off, and hopefully I'll be on the continent pretty soon, my damn self, you know. So the main thing is this: yes, we keep what we're doing, right? But look, we're not going to stop who wins the election. There's a lot of black people who want Joe Biden to win so we can go back to sleep. Really, there's a lot of black people who want, oh, it's all, man, everything's all good now. Trump's gone and whatnot. Well, don't worry about Africa no more. No, it don't work like that. I was here long before Obama, long before Bush, everything like that. I always believe this. I've been doing this now. Doing this now. This movement, right? Geopolitics, Pan African, so for 32 years. For 32 years. So therefore, no matter who is. I don't care who gets elected. Who gets elected, whoever like that, our focus is on rebuilding because I see that that's a natural thing to do. We were cut off from not just our culture, but the land, right? And so therefore, there's other people who see us not interested in our ancestral homeland. They're going to take it up. The Lebanese are moving in. The Chinese are moving in. The Europeans are coming in. The Russians are coming in, right? So they're supposed to bluff us to stay here in America and fight some endless battle for whatever the hell it is. What do they call it? Racial equality, dynasty, whatever the hell that means,
Oh, I'll say this one thing and then I'll let you guys discuss. But when I was visiting Nigeria, I was so shocked of how many people from China, India, Lebanon, Latin America, Russia, like all around the world going to Nigeria. And I was talking to them on the airplane, and they looked at me as if I was stupid for not going into Africa. They're like, this is the best place for a startup on earth.
Right.
And they were leaving their own home countries that they didn't have ancestry in and moving to the continent. A lot of them going to Nigeria, a lot of them going like all around the continent, but they were just talking, they were excited about Africa.
Hey, Diane, give me his brother's contact information. I want to talk to you.
Okay, I will. I connect you guys. Okay. But Darnell, brother, we appreciate you coming on, bro.
Right. Thank you, brother.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon. Kale's Rain, go ahead, bro.
Hey, what's good, man? I think it's my first time on here at Dynast. You see, my thing with a lot of our people here, not only America but outside America, if they're gonna go back to the content, it should be on a business term. What you're gonna do? Because all the rest of people,
I agree.
All people see one thing you guys gotta understand: when most people go, they just want to go just to get away. Okay, to do what? Because you're going to another environment that's being heavily controlled in another continent. So if you go in there, you have to have your plan out, what you want and attain. Now remember, Adaz, you said something about Miss Kathy about her situation with the Gambia, where they're trying to petition her out. I don't know why.
Right.
But think about this: how powerful that would be if most other people already know how racism works. Go back to Africa. It will have to change the mindset of a few Africans, not all, because Africa is a big continent, but just enough to get that leverage needed to start making actual change.
Right.
Yeah. She's standing her ground. She's standing her ground. Look at her video today, 2 videos.
And she should stay her ground.
And she's like, yo, usually when you see African Americans on content, they're always apologizing. They're always timid. They're always scared. When she said, look, and she said, I believe this is my ancestral homeland. It is my, and I'm not going anywhere until I'm ready to leave. So the bottom, even Gambians are saying, well, geez, if it's like that, it's something we got to deal with, And
yeah, you have to deal with it regardless. You're going to deal with the beast regardless. And the mind, see that tells right there, brother, that how heavy we control mentally. That's this is a global thing with us mentally. That's the issue.
Right.
The biggest issue.
Everything. And what do you think about the politics in America, right? We talk about Pan-Africanism. Before it was like, oh, just a thing. Well, now you got people on there, Black Acres. You got people just doing tremendous things, and we see Africa as a huge opportunity and frontier. It's always it's on the table. The problem I had was, even though you may not be a so-called Pan-Africanist, right? Why before we even start negotiating, they want to take Africa off the table. We call it "do it right here," Negroes. We got to do it right here, because they got to take Africa off the table, right? And so therefore, okay, all you're left with is more begging, crying, suffering, and pleading and everything. After Ferguson, man, I was already done with this, right? But after Ferguson, when that district attorney, not only did he let Michael, I forgot the Darren, what is it? Whatever the name is. Not only did he
Darren Wilson
off, right? But he acted like he was prosecuting Michael Brown, right? And then when you hear all these commentators talk about, You had black men, right? And I've told this story many times, man. This broke my heart, man. Older black men, and they were like, well, you might not get justice, so there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to live with it. That to me tells me, right? I said, oh, they're going to rise up. And they did. But that tells me, right, where, at some point in time, we got to stand up like men, right? At some point in time, either it's going to end up in an all-out race war in America, right? A race war, which I know we'll never win. But to make a point, blood's going to be spilled. It's going to be spilled. Because you cannot let people get away with stuff like that, right? Injustice and everything. That's what you see right now with all these protests and everything. But my problem with these protests is you got white people that come in and hijacked it and everything. We have a legitimate right to protest and stuff like that, The other option is this, right? When the end of the protest, right? They're saying, well, we want everything to change. We want an immediate end to white supremacy. Vague and abstraction, right? The thing should be is, something? We've been listening to this guy on the internet called College Genesis for years. We've been listening to Search for Uhuru and everybody else, and they talk about Build Africa and everything. And I heard about Blacks Without Borders and everything. People you hear, word of mouth and everything. Why don't we start taking that more seriously? The same black people will be like, oh, nah, man, I can't talk about Africa. Okay, then you just basically just got to keep staying here, getting your ass whooped. And mentally, see, right now, the reason why I not the fact that I got some stuff in business, that's just nothing. That's nothing that could be taken away anything. The fact that that I see, I monitor what's going on in the continent and the development and stuff like that, and I know I'm going to be part of that, right? That's what keeps me sane. That's what keeps me sane. If I had to, if America is all I had to live and die with, I would have lost my mind a long time ago. If not physically, mentally. You agree with that, Dynas? If not physically, a mental escape, And when we talk about, that's why we want to see people succeed on the continent, right? Because it inspires other people. Oh, I can't wait to my turn to get over there, right? But if America is the only thing if America is your end game, right? That's the only thing you're going to be talking about is racism, right? And racism, and the people that's selling you that, right? Racism, white supremacy, racism, hit that donate button, hit that donate button. Racism, white supremacy, like that. Here's my chat. Here's my GoFundMe. Racism, white supremacy, like, yeah. I'm gonna be at Tucson that day. Whatnot. Get your tickets now. Racism, white supremacy, white supremacy. Oh yeah, we're gonna have this debate, man. Make sure you get your tickets. These people, in their antics, we're not selling you misery merchants, right? They're selling you misery, right? Because it makes money, and they don't really care about you. Everything, and they got a lot of black people following these type of people, right? But the answer is right.
Kales, anything you want to add, or Kales Rain?
Okay, the guy was going very lengthy. The only thing I could add on is we're in a global system now where everybody's networking as best as possible. If people think that they're only going to focus only on one continent, which is America, then they're very sadly being left out, being backwards, because the world is moving globally now. If you look at it now, a lot of people can't interact physically now because of this creation. We have a problem right now. So I tell people, if you plan to do something, strategize. If you know somebody network, that'd be good, and execute it out. That's all you can do moving forward. I'm saying the better you have trust and network with other black people, that's just a start, But if you're just gonna go in there like a lone wolf and all that stuff, you'll get somewhere, but you won't get far because right now everybody's grouped up in tribes, including these non-blacks. And that's one thing that black people still have not understand, that when things really get tough, people create, allegiance, and they stay on their race for the survival. It makes we're going to survive because we're going through a lot of shit, but I tell you, it's only going to come to the point where the breaking point comes as this is going to really test us.
Oh, yeah. And you see now, let me say something, bro. You see now more and more black people, and I was talking to one of my associates today, right? And she was having a conversation, about, Susu they joined. And she was like, and these are people, normal times black people just don't talk, like more and more black people online, and they're linking up, in business associations, social networks and everything, so this is not like they think, we're, like I said, what you see, Black America, what they present to Black America, we're just, we just can't wait for Joe Biden. Also, we care about Trump. We don't care. There's a lot of Black people out there doing a whole lot of work and everything, doing a whole lot of work. It's not like it was a decade ago or 2 decades ago, where we didn't know who we were. All these conversations and everything, because of social media, bringing so many people and so many ideas to the forefront. It's like a revolution. So I do have hope for the future. I do have hope for the future for our people. And I don't really care about these elections and back and forth with all this nonsense and everything. I know the real Black America is doing a lot of things, doing a lot of great things. All over the world. All over the world. They're linking with Africa. They're linking with the world and everything. The world's changing. It's not going to be the same world. We're still looking at people like Joe Biden still looking at us from like the 1960s point of view. Black America, our influence on the continent is growing. Look at you can't we can't deny that our influence on the continent. Something happens in Africa when as soon as the black social media gets a hold of it, they're like, oh wow, they was trying to sell Ghana, U.S. base in Ghana for what, $2 million, right? Man, that got across to the social media, man, and oh man, I don't know what we'll talk about. Yeah, you almost gave away, let the United States build a base right in the middle of Ghana, and
you mean a military base?
Yeah, it was like 2 years.
Oh,
ago.
it never happened?
No, because of social media.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, they're like, oh, y'all selling out, whatever like that. And it's the echo starts around God. Yeah, what the hell are we doing? That's what it was. It's Black social media, our influence on the continent and everything. Whatever's going on the continent, as soon as we get a hold to it, the Black people in the diaspora and the Africans link up and all that. We start sharing notes and everything. Things change. This is not the same world with, this ain't friggin' the 1920s where they're going into the jungle and everything. And you got the illiterate natives and they can just tell the world anything. No, we know what's going on the continent. We got people on the continent telling us what's going on. So we're very connected. So like I said, I'm not worried. I know there's a future. This is not going to stop. This is not going to stop. The world's changing. So they could do whatever they want with the white man's political system in America. They could do whatever they want. We're not going to stop.
No. Well, I look at it in day with the political system here in America. A lot of Black people, on the average, not really participating like we see. They said we are, but I just don't see it.
No.
Say, and the reason why I don't see it, because a lot of Black people by default don't trust this government.
Yeah, we don't trust.
So the people that's barking the most, they're not talking about the majority in America, unfortunately.
Yeah, the majority of Black people, like I said, the last thing we were excited about was Barack Obama, right? And we sort of was excited at his second term, right? And by the time he got ready to leave office, right, we had all these racial incidents, and we just said, yo, look, man, we had a black man, we had a black man in the White House and nothing happened, right? And then now you got Michelle Obama running around talking about she's depressed. She's worth almost $800 million, right? She's depressed, I'm just so depressed and whatnot. I'm like, what the hell you got to be depressed about, you depressed. I'm so depressed and all this kind of nonsense, all this entitlement stuff, all this, everybody's entitled, and also let's talk about the elephant in the room as far as politics, right? We as Black people in America have been led by celebrities since like the 1950s, right? Why is he on any sort of panel talking about Black America and politics?
Colin, real quick, what's this contract that Ice Cube has with Black America? Like, I haven't read it, but have you been following that?
But when I see Boyce Watkins up there, Moist Twatkins up there, and they basically talk about a contract with Black. I mean, this is all just direct. This is all basically to avoid the inevitable. Black people in America are moving beyond America. That's what this is what they want. They don't want Black. So when that happens, right? Then all these Black celebrities are going to be freaking irrelevant to us. That's what's happening. They want to keep us believing that in this system, in America itself, that's what they want. That's why white people were proactive in taking out the Confederate monuments. Why? Because they know Black America is losing interest in America altogether. They're like, okay, what we'll do is we'll take those Confederate monuments. Well, it should have been. They should have never been up in the first place. You know.
Right.
Yeah, but they have to be up there because it's all about their superiority, and they worship the actual heroes that lost to show, say, I am them, and this is me.
Check this out. Check this out. It's like this. It's a participation trophy for losers. How you gonna have
you're right.
Statue up there and he lost? You know, all these guys, these are losers. You know, but the thing is, did they really? This is a question I want to ask. Did they really lose? No, they didn't. The causes of the Confederate, the root cause of it was keeping a foot on the black man's neck. That's part of it. So when the North pulled out, right, one of the things they told the North said when they betrayed the black in 18, you saw that in my novel, right? You know, I said in 1876, and the Hayes-Tillman Compromise, right? They said, look, man, we're going to have another civil war if we try to give civil rights to black people, right? That was one part. They said, okay, we'll let the federal government have this. We'll do this. We'll comply with all this. But the one thing we're not going to ever comply with is being equal to the nigger. That's what they believe in. You know what I'm saying? And when you see the Confederate monuments, that's what they were saying. We're not equal to you. We're the master. Everything else, okay, we'll be Americans. We're all like that. But the one thing we don't want to have is we're going to be equal to niggers. You know, that's the way they put it, right? So that's why they figured they won. They didn't win. They lost the war, but they won their real battle, which is their right to possess, own, kill, destroy, malign black people as subhumans anytime they want to. That's what they won, and they still have that to this day. You know, so that's what you have in the South, and white people know it, and the white people know it. They know it. They know all this. They know what those Confederate monuments mean and everything like that, Confederate flag and all stuff like that. But they said nothing. Right now, it's like this. Now they can't justify it. Why? Because they're like, okay, well, we got Donald Trump, a racist in the White House. We got this. And how do we justify this? Well, the bottom line is this. Okay, if you have all these Confederates, whatever happened to the Confederate States of America? Remember they were talking about succeeding? You notice how they quiet, right? Because when it really comes down to it, right, you know, there's black people like, okay, if you really want to do that, let's do it. You know, before it was like, oh, Mr. White Man, Mr. Bill Clinton, save us from David Duke. Oh, Mr. White. Now you got black people now who are fearless. You know, if it means a war, hey, let's just do it. If it means us getting the hell out of America, mass exodus, let's do it. You know, but one thing's got sure is here in America is the status quo can't continue. You know, no matter how much they try to blame this all on Donald Trump and everything, the status quo. You know, white men have most of the power in America. They continue to have all the wealth and power. There's a new gas pipeline. I think they blocked it. But natural gas pipeline going to Virginia, North Carolina. Are there any black contractors? No. Keystone Pipeline. Are we getting any part of that? No. Any black oil companies drilling in Louisiana? No. So we're not getting anything out of the friggin' deal of America, right? But we spend our blood sending our boys to war in every one of these wars. The thing right now, the things have to change. They make money off us in college sports. They make money, billions of dollars off us in sports and entertainment. They bleed us dry, you know? And so the bottom line is this paradigm and this relationship in America has to change. No matter how much these athletes come out and take it in, no, the bottom line is this. There's a power dynamic. There's somebody white on top and black people on the bottom. I don't care how many crumbs they give these athletes and actors and everything like that. The power has to change. We want our own land. We're our own nation. That's the end game. So.
Yep.
You know, there was a super chat question from Rob Green. I gotta find it, but it was pretty much on the line. Guys, hit that like button. It was pretty much on the lines of. Hold on. Hey, Rob, type your question again, Rob, because I want to make sure I thank you for super chat. I want to make sure I get to that question. But Rob, go ahead and type your question again. Hey, Colin, how do you feel about the billboards that Jason Black's putting up?
Well, okay. Let me be very, very careful, right? Now, Jason Black did a really, really good thing on John Lewis. I thought he was a little harsh, but he called him the old guard and John Lewis was safe when he used Stokely Carmichael. I never heard him mention Stokely Carmichael before, but he used Stokely Carmichael to say, look, he was a good Negro. But like I said, it was what it was. Black people, the reason why John Lewis existed is because black people never took politics seriously. That's why we had John Lewis in the first place. You know, it's a joke. Now, he puts up this thing, no reparations, no vote. When I'm saying my opinion is look, the bottom line is this. Like I always said, Dinus, right? When you're going to do a movement, right? And boys and girls pull up their hold because Professor Kala is going to teach, right? Your movement or whatever you're trying to do to attract people, one, has to be reasonable. It has to be logical. It has to be practical. It has to be attainable, right? And it has to be one more: practical, reasonable, attainable, and rational, reasonable. You know, and it has to be all those four things. You know, I can't think of the fifth one. When you go to do something, right, and say no reparations or vote, you know that's politically not going to happen. So therefore, what happens is when you say that, right?
I mean, some people are. I mean, it's some people are listening and watching.
Is listening, but what I'm saying is though, let's say the people don't vote, right?
Right.
Then basically, what you're doing is weakening the Democrat. You're giving Donald Trump an easy. Who are you saying not vote for? Are you saying not vote for Trump? Are you saying not vote down ballot? Who are you talking about? You talking about Joe Biden? You know, the presidential candidate. So basically, what you're saying is, if we don't get reparations, right, which is impossible, right? If Japanese never got reparations. Japanese got compensation. There's a difference. Reparations is what Germany paid to Israel. Reparations is what Japan had to pay to China, South Korea, and all these countries they invaded. When you lose a war, right? Reparations is what Mexico had to pay the United States for the war, the war in Texas and everything. When the United States invaded Mexico, to the victor belongs the spoils. Mexico had to gave the United States all this land. The United States still gave Mexico $50 million, you know? But the bottom line is when you lose a war, right? The Treaty of Paris, Spain had to pay millions of dollars and pounds back to the United States, right? Over a lie with the sinking of the Maine, right? The United States invaded the Philippines, took the Philippines from Spain. Spain in the Treaty of Paris had to pay the United States back restitution, right? How are you going to make the United States pay? How are you going to pay restitution to the same country you vote in and you swear allegiance to? It does not make any logical sense. It's not reasonable, rational, logical, anything, you know? Now, if you go to a particular African country in large numbers, let's say the Congo, right? And let's say there's like 2 million of us over there, right? African Americans in our own settlement and everything. The government of the Congo could de facto say, these are descendants of slaves in America. We're going to take you to international court because of the suffering they did for hundreds of years. And it can't be just the United States. It has to be Spain. You have to list all the countries that were involved in it. Portugal, Spain, all these other countries, everything. You have a debt, right? But how can you do that, right? When the same countries that you have to sue, you're giving reparations to the old farmers in Africa. You see how far off we are? The problem is we have no power. Reparations only come by force. If you don't have no
well,
power,
you got to take it anyway. I'm not sure why people feel so that it's going to give you anything. No, so that's a passive thinking. In warfare, usually there's going to be winners and losers. If you look at even people understand history from Revolutionary Wars, any war, when there's always winner losers. At the end, the winner, they get the booty of war.
Right.
Period. If we look back at all Black history, from Haitian Revolution to American Revolution, everything has led to even to this time frame, this point right now. And I remember on my channel, I read the history of America on the Versailles revolts that they don't talk about in history, besides what we know outside America. You know, so like I said, they know the potential of Black people. It is Black people just don't want to take action. That's all. You know.
Hey, let me read this super chat question, then we'll close out. Rob Green, why are African Americans more aware and active against global white oppression, even though Africans are more obviously and openly more dominated and disrespected on a larger scale?
I'll answer that. In a minute because
then we'll close out. Go ahead.
Well, let me say it like this. I'm going to say this respectfully, right? A lot of our African brothers, right? There's some like I said, they say there's old saying. I believe the African laughs with his belly, the African American grins and bares his teeth. You know, that's what it is. We bare our teeth. The black people in America, right? We are products of the first world. You know, we're industrialized people. We lived on the grid for 150 years, whatever. We're product of, we helped build the industrialized world. There was nothing here. We saw the cities emerge, everything like that, you know? We're not a third world people, right? Even though we're part of Africa and everything like that, right? We saw Europeans coming off the boat, you know what I'm saying, and piss and shit and lice, right? And we had to clean them up. Without the black community's infrastructure, the Irish, all these people would never survive, right? They don't tell you that part of history, right? So therefore, so African Americans, when we had Harlem, Harlem was uptown, you know, you had to go uptown to the black area. You had to dress right. Your Harlem was a place of class, right? So this mentality of Black America that we can go any place and build them. That's why we built Liberia, Sierra Leone, and stuff like that. We had missionary works in the Congo. George Washington Williams, folks, Google him, right? He's Samuel L. Jackson brought him to life in the Tarzan movie in 2016. He was an African-American explorer from Philadelphia, right? We've always gone to South Africa. We built missions. We built businesses. We've been going to Africa for 150 years now, you know, 200 years now, you know, including Liberia. But we've been always in the forefront of this idea that you white people are not superior to us, right? There's a thing in Africa for some strange reason, whereas everything modern, anything has to do with science, and all good things come from above, heaven. And on the map is Europe. Europe is up north. Europe is heaven. And Africa is hell. That's how they use Christianity to enslave us, right? We think of Europe, everything's white, heaven, and Africa is hell, right? And so therefore, what I'm trying to say is this, though. A lot of Africans cannot basically cut ties with Europe, right? Cut ties with Europe. That's what needs to happen. Cut ties with Europe and build with Africa, build Nigeria, Ghana, and all these people as a place. Many people in Ghana and Nigeria, I see them arguing all the time. Well, your country don't this like that, and the Europeans are the ones sitting back causing this friction between Africans while they're united based on color. The African does not, for the most part, we African Americans are color and race conscious. We see ourselves as black first, right? We didn't have the luxury of being a tribe. I didn't have a luxury of being a Yoruba. Or when you see a lot of people committing crimes from Nigeria, right? The first thing in Yoruba will say, those are Igbos. They don't rally behind and say, that's a black man, it's a Nigerian, that's one of us. No, that's an Igbo. You know, that's an Igbo. That's not one of us. We never had that luxury in Black America to basically be like, oh, no, that's not him. When a Jamaican came here, Haitian came here, they were part of the black experience in America. Sidney Poitier talked about that. You know, he came from the Virgin Islands. He went to Florida. He thought he was a little different because he was from the island.
I think he's from the Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda,
Bermuda. That's where he's from. Bermuda. I thought, but I know he spent time in the Virgin Islands. You know, but anyway, he got his wake up call right when basically he was almost brutalized, right, just by basically going into the wrong part of white town. Then he realized these black people here are my people. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Therefore,
a lot of Africans do not see it like that. If they see something happen to a Tanzanian, like the whole continent just abandoned Zimbabwe. That's just Zimbabwe,
right?
You know, everyone abandons Zimbabwe. No, everyone's saying, "Yo, how dare you?" If Africa put a united front up, right? If Nigeria said, "Look, we're gonna rally our country together. 10 years we're gonna suffer because they're gonna hit with sanctions, but guess what? We're gonna take back all these oil fields from Nigeria, from the British. We're gonna suffer. They're gonna hit us with sanctions. We're gonna go all stuff like that, but we're gonna come out stronger than this after this." Now, if that was the case, right? That would be like South Africa is terrified right now. You know, they're terrified right now. They made an example out of Zimbabwe to tell South Africa and Namibia, if you ever think about it, even think about it, that's what's going to happen to you. And you're going to pay $300 billion. That's ridiculous. $300 billion, you know, for their infrastructure, you know, and that blacks are doing the work, you know, that's unjust. And you know who basically furthered that cause? Barack Obama. I thought Barack Obama was going to be a black president. He extended sanctions on Zimbabwe at the behest of the EU. And so I'm saying to myself, what's going on?
Yeah, and the reason that also because he want homosexuality heavy.
Although, yeah, the homosexuality, he wanted to push. He was mad because his homosexual agenda was rebuffed in Africa. We don't want that.
Which is a good thing, which is a great thing. I heard Kenya kicked him out, say, Mr. President, we're here for business. We're not worried about who sleeps with who. He come out, the first thing he said out of his mouth is say, y'all gotta let off with the homosexuals, let them run wild. That's what?
The bottom line is this. You know there's gonna be homosexuals everywhere, but they don't have to be
I know. We know.
They don't have to be in children's cartoons. They don't have to be all the stuff like that being indoctrinating children. Homosexuals been around for thousands of years, but they're part of the margins of society. What they want is the homosexual is equal to the heterosexual. No. You're a homosexual, you're on the margin. We'll accept you in the society, but you know where your place is. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And so other than that, man, this idea that you're gonna change society and whatever like that. No, people don't have to have a right to live. I don't believe homosexuals should be hunted or killed or anything like that, brutalized or maligned. Or nobody should be hurt. But at the same time, you cannot trivialize reproduction and what a male and what a female is. That's what a society and a nation is based on. And if you try to attempt to do that, like Charlize Theron, she has her boys, African boys, in dresses, raise them as girls. And that's what we have going on.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Yeah. No, he I think he was talking about it. But hey, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. Chaos, anything you'd like to share in closing? Chaos, right?
One thing I would say, this is a good stream. Thank you for having me up. This is very helpful. That's all I'm gonna say.
No problem. Kala, anything you'd like to share in closing, brother?
Oh, I just want to say this, folks. I'm not telling anybody who to vote for, right? But if you really believe in America and all stuff like that, okay. What I would strongly suggest that you do, right, is take assessment on both candidates, right, and go by tangibles, right. Trump talked about prison reform, blah 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 blah. Give him consideration. If you like Barack Obama and all stuff like that, give Joe Biden consideration, right? But one thing you cannot do, we're not going to do anymore, right, is think you holier than thou and telling black people who to vote for. If you do that and whatnot, you are now the problem. Telling people you have to vote. We don't have any allegiance. We're not Democrats, right? I don't have a Democrat on my birth certificate, right? We are people who have Pan-African ideologies. Some of us conservative, some of us are pro-American, some of us not feeling America. Some of us come from the Caribbean, some of us come from Africa and everything. We're a diverse people. We have all different income levels and everything, right? The political process should be an individual thing. What do you think, or what do you agree with? Agree with this, you agree with that. And then the most important thing, folks, is we have to learn how to respect people's choice. Look, people are coming at Kanye West. If Kanye wants to do what he wants to do, leave him alone. There's nothing wrong with Kanye. He's doing what he wants to do and everything. This just shows how immature we are as a people. We can't even say, okay, well, I like Trump because I like this. Oh, you're blah, 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 blah. Same time, you have Democrats who say racist. Joe Biden said racist thing over the years. That's all forgiven. Why? Because we are programmed in our mind, and a chip in our mind could be called Democrats. So Democrat good, Republican bad. Right. We have to break ourselves from that, or we're not going to be free. You don't call yourself free, and you'll be holding to somebody, whether they're D or R next to their name. If you're a Democrat first and everything, and you're just Democrat, I'm a Democrat, just vote blue. Vote blue no matter who color. Vote blue no matter who color. Vote blue no matter who color. If you're doing that and whatnot, you're not free. You're a slave, and that's all I got to say.
All right, cool. Everyone, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go to dynastymir.com. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mir, search for Huru. Peace.
Peace. Peace, thanks.